budget live. So wanted to have a chat while we were in traffic about what's going on in the UK right now. The Office for Budget Responsibility have irresponsibly accidentally leaked the full budget before the Chancellor's speech, which is about as ironic as it gets and pretty much sums up the state of the nation. So we're on our way back to where we're staying, and I thought, well, why not chat to you lot about the budget, mostly because I have not been keeping an eye on the news, and I don't really know what's in the budget, so I'm hoping that in the chat you could tell me what's going on in the budget. Greetings from Dublin, says Snowboy Ben. All right, greetings from Turkey. Hello, how you all doing? We're broadcasting forward, but that means you get to see cars and stuff. So we've got a bit of traffic on the way out to where we're headed. I want you all to tell me what's going on in the UK with the budget. Ian from Cherished Vehicle Insurance, now known as Howden, the band formerly known as Cherished Vehicle Insurance Services. They've changed their name, and I'm never going to get my head around it. Like I can't call X Twitter. No, Twitter, X. And he's just texted me saying they've introduced pay per mile for, was it 3p for EVs and 1.5 pence for hybrid, which is so it was nice knowing you all. Thanks for that. That's the end of motoring in the UK. Hope you enjoyed it. We had a good run. Where did we go from? About the year 1900 to today. We've had a good run with motoring in the UK, but that's basically the end of it now. Because you know what's going to happen next year, or when's the next budget? Would it be in April? Well, they'll introduce it for petrol cars. It'll be diesels next one. It'll be diesels to get them off the road. So help us out then. What else is going on in the budget? That was the big one. That's the one I wanted to talk about. I mean, I made my first pay per mile video probably 2 or 3 years ago, and for me, the pay per mile thing is. The reason it's such a big deal is because, well, income tax for starters was temporary when it was introduced. It was introduced to help finance a war. Oh yeah, we'll get rid of income tax when the war's over. No. So once pay per mile is in, that's it. You're knackered. Not only is it going to be, it's just going to be everywhere next year. Paul's Paint Shop says they can't track my mileage. The two-child benefit has been scrapped. So it means thousands of families with loads of children will get thousands of thrown at them instead of just, whoa, hold the phone. Is that true? They've introduced pay per mile. Crap video, no subtitles. I can't put subtitles on a live video. I'm actually live. This is actually me here right now. I can't subtitles on real life. I'm not going to watch the budget. It's going to be like watching a serious car crash. I know it's going to cost me money. I blame all the folk who sat on our hands at the last election. If voting worked, they wouldn't allow us to do it. Was it Mark Twain that said that? Look, they've got... I don't know how... I can't put it any simpler than they're following Agenda 2030 and they're attempting the deliberate destruction of the nation. Like, if you believed that was just a conspiracy theory before, the proof is now in the pudding. Well, the proof is in that red suitcase. If you didn't get it already, introducing pay per mile next time around, next budget, it'll be, oh, now we need to tax the diesel cars for a pay per mile. Oh, now it needs to be the petrol cars, right? I've written about this extensively. I was blogging about this before I even started my YouTube channel. I did a piece when they first announced the ban on petrol and diesel cars, and I said that what would happen with classic cars is they'll introduce a classic car permit scheme, and you'll have to enter a bidding war to be able to buy the days that you're allowed to drive your classic car. All of that's going to be coming up next. So that's it. That's freedom of motoring is done. Is anybody in the comments, does anybody know if they're introducing this pay per mile, how have they said they're going to track it? That's what I want to know, because I believe that they've already installed the cameras. So they've removed the benefit cap on 2 children. Oh my gosh. So at the moment you get benefits if you've got 2 children. Any more than that, you don't get any benefits. And by getting rid of that, they're basically saying, I mean, you just tell me you want the third world to come to your country without telling me you want the third world to come to your country. Oh yeah, come to England, have 12 children, it's fine, we'll pay for it. It's absolute insanity, and that's what it is. That's what it is. They don't want the middle class anymore. What they want is the lower. There's things I want to say, but that I can't say. But I mean, if I wanted to get the vote, like if let's say there was an election coming up in the future, and I wanted to win some votes, what I'd probably do is I'd find the communities that were having the most children, Alan's snack bar, and I'd find a way to pander to them. And this is good. We haven't had more than 2 children, mostly because we didn't really want any more than 2. But it gets expensive, and you don't get to have a life. So now what they do, it's just insane. It's laughable. That's what it is. It's laughable. Well, it's tragic. Oh, there you go. Tow fast. I love these little cars. So, yeah. I missed some comments then. Does anybody know how they are planning to implement the pay per mile thing? Do let us know. Interestingly as well, I'm not seeing any comments from people telling me that the feed isn't working. So that says to me that the mobile phone signal in Turkey is a lot better than it is. Go on, off you go. Whoa, he's not going. I thought he was going then. I was ready for him to pull out, and then he just stopped. Yeah, ankle bracelets on all drivers, someone says. Well, we'll get there next as well. So it won't be on the MOT. What's that comment there? They're meant to be tracking the EV mileage via your MOT, but I don't understand. No, they can't do it via the MOT. It's too unreliable. It's not going to work. The feed is working smashing, clear as a bell. Yeah. Listening to a good conspiracy theory about bells the other day and the removal of bells. Phone signal in Turkey is way better than the UK. SIM cards in modern cars will update a mileage database. Right, so what they're going to do next then is they're going to double down on their already very active agenda to get older cars off the road, because surely at this point the value of cars from 1995 and older has just gone up because the government has announced this, right? So everybody that doesn't like government overreach and government tracking is on eBay right now trying to buy cars from probably no newer than 2003-4, I would say. I don't think the car I'm driving now is any good because that's an SOS button, isn't it? Has that got an SOS button up there? I think it has. So I think this car's out. This is a 2007. So basically, the government has just single-handedly pushed up the price of old Volvo estates via your MOT. But how are new vehicles? Exactly, this is the thing. They're introducing this. It's just to get a reaction. This is why it was all in the news the other day. They wanted to get the reaction of the general public to pay per mile, and people didn't kick off enough, which is why they've now introduced it. It's not been thought through because the MOT thing doesn't work, because you can't have pay per mile based on your MOT if you don't have an MOT in the first 3 years. Talbot Samara. No, it wasn't. It was a Lada Niva. My bad. Give Matt Master a call. Ask him when he's. I missed that comment because I'm trying to drive along. So it was never about the pay per mile. It's not even about the money for them. It's quite simply just about control. So watch out now for the next steps on getting older vehicles off the road. Has anybody seen? Yeah, it will be connected to digital ID. That's what all the conspiracy theorists have been trying to tell you all along. Has anybody seen any news on vehicle excise duty, road tax? Have they announced anything about that? I mean, I'm going to go. Let's take a stab in the dark, shall we? Like we're on a London tube train. See what I did there? Let's take a stab in the dark and guess that all road tax is going up. I'm guessing that that's going to happen. Don't know if you saw the news from the. Oh, that's a cool car. From the tube in London yesterday, there were 3 stabbings and 1 murder and a fire on the tube in London yesterday, so that's nice. So things are going really well in the UK at the minute. Premium cars gone from Motability. Yep, I did that. Did that yesterday. Oh, we've got some instructions coming up. Yeah, I did the Motability video yesterday, and hey, check this out on the right, Ford Cortina. Apparently, they made the Mark, it might be Mark 4, Apparently they made the Mark IV Cortina out here until 1995, which is pretty cool. And there's loads of car dealerships up here. So if I see one, I'll try to pull it in and show you. If everyone rode bicycles, the government would go bankrupt. Yeah, exactly. It's never about anything other than control of money. And seeing as the government has the ability to print their own money whenever they feel like it, there was a cool yellow Volvo 850 T5 on the right there from Timu. Seeing as the government has the ability to print money and create money however they like, and they also have the ability, if they really wanted to stop spunking money up the wall on anything and everything, then they have the ability to control the flow of money and control the budget. They just choose not to. So when they're saying, oh, it's to fill a gap, oh, it's because of the gap that's been left. What a great name for a road. Yeah, when they say to you it's to plug the gap that has been left by car tax from people moving to EVs, they're flat out lying to your face. Big hikes on gambling tax, but nothing on trying to stop people gambling. Yep, that sounds about right. Fractional reserve banking is at 0%. So literally the banks can loan as much money as they want while having no actual money themselves. Some scam that. Yes, Cornwall Council voted against digital ID yesterday. Good. And Tony was there. Tony did a lot in getting them to vote against digital ID, so that's good. Shares in mileage blockers just skyrocketing. To be honest, most people have been using mileage blockers for ages. Whenever I go down to the dyno and speak to Chris, if he dynos some form of German car, an Audi, a BMW, a Mercedes or whatever, and it's a lease car, he has to say to the people, are you using a mileage blocker because it'll mess with the math? Straight on. And yeah, so people are using, mine said left. Okay. People are using mileage blockers to basically get the car to show less mileage than they're actually doing. Taxis use them. So you can buy a taxi and then do 300,000 miles, and then you just knock it back 100,000 miles every year, which works a lot better for your insurance and everything. So mileage blockers have been a thing forever. But they'll close all these loopholes, that's the thing. Don't forget, not only do they want all of your money, they want you off the road. So they're frozen fuel duty. So fuel duty isn't going up. Is that correct? Can somebody verify that in the comment? I just saw that comment come in there. But the price of petrol has been sneaking up over the last 6 months anyway. We were down to like £1.29 a litre, weren't we, at some point? And it's up to £1.50 again now. So that'll keep creeping up as well. Was there any good news? Has anybody seen any good news in the budget? Particularly for motorists or any other, is there any good, oh, there you go, Ford Cortina coming up on the left. Is that a Mark IV or a Mark III? That looked like a Mark III. Yeah, was there any good news in the budget unless you don't work and are from sub-Saharan Africa and have 12 children? Is there any good news for anybody that isn't that? That's what we want to know. Let us know in the comments if there's any good news in the budget for real people at all. Fuel duty going up by CPI in April, and the 5p cut from COVID is being removed in September 26. Oh, great. Well, that's good then, isn't it? The CPI Consumer Price Index. I always get my annual text message and email from EE saying, oh, the CPI has been announced, so now we're upping our prices based on that, which is fraud. That's not the way you do it. You don't get hold of the latest data on the consumer pricing index and then up your prices accordingly. It's supposed to work the other way around. The consumer price index is supposed to be an index of how much things have increased over the last 12 months. It's not then an indication for you to put your prices up against it. That's how you create mass inflation. And I challenged them every year, and every year I ended up getting put through to like some obscure department. I swear they've got a department for people like me who've worked out the scam. Sky is nice and blue, it is, and yeah, petrol will be increasing from 2028, but then everything's ramping up from them because they want to get the cars off the road by 2030. Reduction to the writing down allowance of corporation tax, a new mileage-based charge on electric cars, increasing gambling taxes, reducing tax relief. Fit TPO going past there. What does the capital gains tax relief thing mean? I haven't done any research for this video, as you can probably tell. MacMaster's going back to petrol because of this budget. When does the EV? He is all talk though, by the way. When does the EV pay per mile thing come in? When does that start from? Like, if you've driven 10 miles in your EV today, do you need to write Rachel Reeves a check, or does it start from next year? As I say, I haven't done any research for this live video. I just got a text message from Ian from Cherished, and I thought, oh right, well I've immediately got to go and address that with people on the internet. 2028. By now, you should all hold physical gold bullion, and you will be free from inflation and exempt from government overreach. I couldn't agree more. If you aren't holding your money in metal, then with the state of the world right now, you must be actually mental. Because, well, where else are you going to put it that it can't get taken from you? Have you seen Scania are trialing self-driving trucks? That actually makes a lot of sense. Like, if they can get self-driving trucks to work, I mean, I've done some long distance driving lately, and it's hard work. And doing it in a truck at like a limited 50 mile an hour, well, that would be horrible. But if they can somehow automate that, then things could be more efficient. What's that coming up on the left? That looks like a Talbot Samara estate. Nice. Tax-free salary sacrifice is limited to £2,000 a year. Hi Geoff, have you had the Dacia Spring on a recall steering rack, the do not drive? I have. It's sitting in my inbox. It's in my to-do list of videos to make. But I've been having so much fun with the JQ left here. Yeah? I've been having so much fun in the JQ user group that I haven't had time to make Dacia Spring videos. I genuinely, so the people that are buying these JQs, right? They're honestly, I don't know, can you swear on a live feed? They are thick as shit. It is embarrassing. I saw a post earlier on in a JQ group, and it's obviously someone who's got no money, and they've got some form of, I don't know how they're paying for this car, but they genuinely went in the Facebook group, and I'll put this in a video tonight. They genuinely went in the Facebook group to ask if